to the Rift. I am your host, Elijah Schaefer. And as we jump into things, let's introduce our people today. Guest and kind of producer and contributor for RiftTV.com, Michael Hennessy. Welcome back.
Hey, happy to be here. I think it's been a little bit of time since the last time I was on the show, but thank you for playing that video in the beginning, because that time I walked in the office and caught you and Mike messing around like that, I thought it was something else, but now I see it was just a Canadian sport game.
Yeah, that was actually Michael and I hanging out there. It was a really, really good time. And joining us in the back is our resident producer and operations manager, Michael Mendoza of the Mendoza Report, because we're all saying Mendoza, because no, thank you, Sar. Do not redeem. Welcome back.
Yeah, what's up? What's going on? I just wanted to say, Ed, we have a job for you here. You don't have to sink so low to resorting to wrestling in the mud. So we have a job for you here. Just don't worry about it. But happy to be here.
Yeah, and what a pair of honkers on that sing, right? Can we go to that for a second?
Actually, I was kind of concerned this is going to be like flagged or taken down, because I mean those look like the real deal Holyfield.
Dude, dude, they have too much soy, right? They don't eat enough beef. That's the problem, right? Maybe this guy's had too much beef sausage.
He did hit a mean cartwheel halfway through.
That's actually true. Can we skip that? That was like one of those moments. Let's go away from pulling the underwear off of people. And wait,
here it is. Oh,
wait, what is it? Is it more of it? Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Make Ramswamy happy with that one.
Yeah, that's like the GRU. That's like the GRU build. You should check on that for a second.
Yeah,
that
right.
That's such a weird form. Anyway, I don't know why I'm showing you guys that, because we have an immigration problem in our country. We have people that don't care about us, and the people that should care about us are not advocating for us, and they're pulling a lot of nonsense, including the fact that we're finding out that there's some shakeups at the HHS as individuals are deciding whether or not we should pull these experimental injectable mRNA products off the shelves, which to me should be a no-brainer, because what you're finding is the new head of the CDC is saying that they're causing serious harm and death. That's the head of the CDC, and I was told from YouTube and the tech people that they're extremely helpful and that we should give them to our children. But now the government, they said trust the experts, is saying they're not helpful. And there are some people that are into BDSM that are now saying, okay, maybe, just maybe, I'm going to quit and go have fun. Literally, this is a real story from today, in the gay orgy clubs, because I can't be around nonsense like people who want to take these off the shelves. Anyways, before we jump into that, a huge shout out. Remember, you guys, testosterone is at an all-time low. I haven't been getting a lot of sleep. I just got carjacked, got my gun stolen, having a rough time. I'm like swollen. My voice is hoarse. I've been sick for weeks. It's just been it's been a tough week. But I have the grit to continue doing what I do because, well, quite frankly, testosterone is something that even if you sound manly or you look manly, you might have low T. And if you sound like me, you might have high T. I got tested at like 1,400 something right now, which is crazy. And it gives me the drive to keep going. Now, whether even if you're on TRT or not on TRT, you guys got to check out this product, Man's Edge. And the reason why is it has fenugreek, NO2, IGF-1, and the active ingredients we all know and trust to raise testosterone and regulate testosterone and help your body to use it correctly, which is very important. But it's now in a patented form that goes directly under your tongue sublingually, can be absorbed, and helps to increase your testosterone, as young men today who are about 19 years old have lower grip strength than men who are over 60 years old just 75 years ago. So that's not good. Low testosterone is affecting your libido. It's affecting your performance in bed. It's affecting your grit, your ability to drive successfully, your company and your family. Make sure that you pick up a bottle today. Buy one, get one free on auto ship at ElijahIGF1.com. ELIJAH, IGF, the number 1.com, promo code Elijah, and save an additional 10%. Make sure that you click auto ship and get your testosterone in order. All right, let's jump right into this. RiftTV.com reports breaking news. Trump demands Big Pharma reveal the C-19 jabs data as the CDC faces reckoning. Check this out. The facade of triumph is crumbling and truth is crawling its way to the surface. President Donald Trump, once the herald of Operation Warpspeed's Christmas miracle, now stands at a crossroads demanding answers from Big Pharma about the COVID-19 vaccines that he championed. His call for transparency, issued in a fiery Truth Social post, comes as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention implodes under resignations and dissent. with the vaccine skepticism surging and other bombshell studies linking experimental mRNA shots to spiking cancers in Italy through a peer-reviewed study, by the way. It's a peer-reviewed study in Italy that just came out that was linking that. So it's getting really hard for the detractors here to keep pushing these things because, on one hand, the tech companies are ardent to say that they are helpful and they make sure they censor anybody who suggests otherwise. But then they always told us two things, right? This is what I want to talk about before we go any further, is that they were safe and effective. They are safe and effective because of two groups of people, because the government said they were, and because peer-reviewed science said they were too. And now what's happening is the peer-reviewed science is going against what they said, and it's giving the counterpoint and saying maybe this is not what we thought it was. And then now the government, the new CDC director, is saying, Levi is his last name. Director Levi, is coming out and saying, actually, we might need to pull these things. They're not helpful. So now you get the government and you have the scientists coming together and saying that they cause turbo cancers and all these things. Now, of course, it doesn't matter. My point is, are the tech companies going to side with the government and the experts now, or are the tech companies on such an agenda because of being funded by the pharmaceutical companies that they're going to continue to say they actually are safe and effective and punish people who say otherwise? That's the question I have.
Yeah, I think the tech giants are going to continue to have pressure to stop people from actually speaking about the jab, anything related to the jab. We might see it lighten up just a little bit because now it's making headlines, but I do believe that they're still going to try to silence people. And the reason we're having the peer reviews come out now, I mean, there was studies before that were done when they were forcing this upon everybody, taking away their jobs, taking away their livelihood, and they would just silence anybody who would speak out against it and just kind of create any false narrative that they wanted. The one thing I want to see, though, is we have this big habit where we go ahead and we expose, oh, this is terrible and that's terrible. And, the administration loves to do that to get the clickbait, to get us all paying attention. But I want to see something actually done. People like Fauci need to be locked away. All those who were, ruining everybody's lives, attacking our military, attacking, families, everybody. I want to see some kind of repercussions for those type of acts. Do I feel hopeful that's going to happen? Most likely not. They'll probably just get us all excited. But at least Trump's somewhat acknowledging the Operation Warp Speed was a terrible idea. There was no severe winter of death as Biden was preaching. And anybody who got the vaccine, my heart goes out to you. I'm very sorry about that. But I think we're just seeing the beginning of the destruction that this is going to have on future generations.
Yeah, okay, but let me read you a couple things here. So that happened, right? Now, the problem was there's this guy named Demetre Daskalakis. I don't know if we have let me see if we have some pictures of this guy here because he's absolutely insane. Basically Trump came out today and he's asking people to shill their data or express what's behind them, because he said it's very important that the drug companies justify the success of their various COVID drugs. Many people think that they are a miracle that saved millions of lives. I don't know why millions is capitalized. Others disagree. With CDC being ripped apart over this question, I want to answer and I want it now. I have been shown information from Pfizer and others that is extraordinary, but they never seem to show those results to the public. Why not? They go off to the next hunt and then let everyone rip themselves apart, including Bobby Kennedy Jr. and the CDC, trying to figure out the success or failure of the drug companies' COVID work. They show me great numbers and results, but they don't seem to be showing them to many others. I want them to show them now to the CDC, to the public, and clear up this mess. One way or another, I hope Operation Warp Speed was brilliant, as many say it was. If not, we all want to know about it and why. Thank you for your attention to this very important matter, President Donald J. Trump. Okay, so all around about Mendoza, it's I feel like this is sort of the tipping point here. He's kind of cracking. He's I hope it was good. I hope we find it out, because if it isn't, then we're in some deep shit.
Well, so, I think it's interesting that he's everyone was saying that Operation Warp Speed was really good. My brother in Christ, you were the one that was saying that Operation Warp Speed was the one that was amazing and saved millions of lives. So it's kind of funny that he's trying to take the blame off of his plate now that he's probably, and I don't know how much he's actually dug into the data. I guess I could figure out by watching The Five over the last 2 years and see if they ever talked about it, because that's where he gets most of his information from, and Gutfeld or something. But it does seem like he's trying to get it off of him, so he's not put with the burden of having pushed Operation Warp Speed. So yeah, it seems like probably these companies will get a reckoning in some form. But I'm not super hopeful because these people always do escape accountability somehow, some way or another.
Well, the
So, we'll
Sackler
see.
family, a good example is the Sackler family, right? I mean, they opioided the entire country, and nobody's been prosecuted yet. I mean, the banks too, right? So if you look at the, what was it? What again? They're a family from Connecticut, I think. JD Vance said.
Yeah, I was actually just about to bring that up.
Yeah,
I was
they're a
Connecticut,
family from Connecticut. So get back to these Connecticut people. That's where we got that from. These Connecticut people in the banks, in the pharmaceutical companies. It's like, okay, come on. They're not going to be held accountable because they control the judiciary. They control the legislative in our country. This is what people like. That are like, you get the Seth Dillons, the Joel Barrys, and the people that are like, oh, they always say like, oh, the Jew people and stuff. And it's like, well, no, we're not going around lifting up rocks and finding Jews under them. Though I imagine in some places you may find them because trolls are found in rock caves. But
New York sewers.
New York sewers, yeah. Some storm grates. But jokes aside, it's like, no, I'm saying. When I'm saying these people are connected to everything, it's not some sort of an anti-Semitic trope. It's not some delusion. I'm saying that there are tribal people who look out for their own, like all people do, like black people do, like but unlike black people, Jews don't kill each other, right? Jews will get each other's back till the end of time, which is why they get kicked out as a group. Like it's the entire group takes responsibility for the crimes continually 111 times now because they all defend each other. And what we're finding here is that, again, you have the same people with Moderna, Pfizer, and the Sacklers with their company. And I just, Trump comes out today praising Israel, praising, Netanyahu. And, the way that our country's set up now, I have no doubt in my mind that there'll be no accountability at all, considering that the only person who could probably try to prosecute or would prosecute would be the director of the HHS. And then he also said that there's an epidemic of anti-Semitism. And I think I have a picture of it here. He says that there's an epidemic of anti-Semitism and is now working with the Department of Homeland Security. Right here, they put this out today after a recent church shooting. Just remind you, Christians were killed. And they said all Americans should be able to practice their religion without fear of terrorism or violence. Under the leadership of President Trump and Secretary Noah, DHS is awarding $110 million, yes, praise God, to all the churches that keep getting shot up and burned, to more than 600 faith-based, what is that? Not churches, faith-based organizations. Never heard churches called faith-based organizations. And other nonprofits across the U.S. to help protect houses of worship. Those sound like a lot of words that don't sound like churches. This funding administered through FEMA's nonprofit security grant program may be used on security enhancements like security cameras, additional warning and alert systems, gates and lighting, access control systems, and training programs for staff. I remember that there was also a recent, another transgender that shot up that other Christian school as well. Let me think about this. So who's getting this money? 110 million. Well, I bet you because Christianity is the number one religion, practiced in this country, and it's the number one target of all persecution in the world, and also in our own country. That I mean, even the Jews target churches and stuff in their own country. You've got to be giving at least $94 million to Christians, right? I mean, you would expect at least the majority. What is this? Okay, what is this? Homeland Security. $94 million of this is going to help protect 512 Jewish faith-based organizations. So not even synagogues, just like organizations, just Jewish businesses. We're spending $100 million of this to protect Jews, not Christians. Okay, so try to defend this to me, honey, because this is crazy. Yeah, that are targeted for violence. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys drew a swastika yourselves on the building and got caught doing it. We're being slaughtered out here by transgenders, and you're over here giving our money to Jewish, not synagogues, faith-based organizations. This is where they play the game of ethnicity and religion. It's like, well, it's not really an ethnic center. Imagine if they gave it to white only and Christian. Imagine if they gave $94 million to Arval. That's what they're doing here. Yeah. They're giving the money to Jews to be sectarian, identitarian, and have their ethnocentric places of gathering in our country. It's absolutely insane. Yeah,
I mean, Donald Trump, some say Zion Don. Unfortunately, it always goes back to Israel. They make sure that they put Israel first before America. We see that here as far as, that's why they had the special wording so they can make sure they can send the money in organizations. They're not going to send them to Christian churches. We see the same thing when people talk bad on social media and want to come into the United States to get citizenship. They're checking to make sure that if you ever question Israel. So it's just really sad, but it just pulls the veil off a little bit more. We can see which country that they're going to continue to put first. I mean, even Trump came out today and he gave it was either today or yesterday, he put out a tweet or in True Social where he's like talking about Israel and he's like, well, Israel doesn't have full control of the house anymore or something like that. And then right after he's talking about how, Israel is amazing and October 7th was the same as, the Holocaust. So the blind allegiance
he
is
said that today, huh?
Yeah.
Well, actually, what's weird is Mendoza was just sharing with me a little bit about how he agrees, and he was really happy at FAU, the local university by the office here.
Yeah.
They did something really great today, didn't they?
Yeah, actually, well, by the way, and I just saw that one screenshot that you posted from the TikTok or whatever. But speaking of which, this is some breaking news. I don't know if you guys just saw this. Our group chat is going off about this right now too. But apparently, Owen Shroyer is leaving Infowars. He's talking about it right now, and based on some of the responses in the replies and then some of the talking in the group chats, it's because he was criticizing Trump too much, not even Israel.
Oh, wow.
Which is very interesting. But also, part of me does kind of wonder, too, if this is maybe potentially because Infowars is maybe going under anyway, and then they're kind of
I already know about this. I'll tell you after.
Exactly, yeah.
But
So,
yeah. I think this is a long time coming, is all I'll say.
Okay.
I don't think it's just because of I don't think that's why.
I kind of always sensed, like something else was going on there too. I'm not going to say what on air, but yeah. I mean, Owen's
transgender now.
Okay, well, Owen's good anyway. I mean, he can survive anywhere, so whatever. But
no, I know. Actually, he'll be coming out here soon now. I was kind of waiting for that. Now he's coming out here, so he'll be coming on our show soon. So that'll be very nice. He will be visiting, and he's going to find out. He wants to know, how do we do something like this? And it's like, get 400 live viewers? Let me give you the novel and explain to you how it's done. Well, let me get the book out. You know what I mean? It's like a scroll. Here's what you got to do. Spend a bunch of money for 11 people to watch your show. No, but no, he's a really good friend. I really do love him a lot, and I wish him the best. Shout out to Owen Shroyer. You're going to be successful wherever you are, and never let the bitches get you down, bro. A lot of them are terrible. A lot of them are great. But for some reason, great men end up around a lot of terrible women. And you stand tall, and you've been a great man. And I hope this era of life doesn't get you down. And even when it bitch slaps you in the face a little bit, you just got to keep going. Like I always say, you only lose when you give up. So don't give up, my friend. Shout outs in the chat. One's in the chat if you think it was good that he left Infowars. Two's in the chat if you think it was bad he left. Because I'd like to know. That being said, don't forget, guys, if you want to, as we continue talking about this, make sure that you check out the amazing t-shirts to make a statement from redpillthreads.com. It's a company from one of our friends here that we're promoting. So we're about to start some new advertisements on Wednesday. But, we've been, a lot of our friends have been rocking these t-shirts. You've had all these people on our show. Plus, when you go on there right now, you can... get the Jewish tunnel shirt. The Epstein list is not the list you're looking for. I mean, these are always great too. Which is the crazy one that I saw Hermes wearing? Where
with
was
a skull?
Yeah, that was crazy. Like this one.
It is, yeah.
The fatigue is real with a monkey skull in the hand. I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And Comet Ping Pong, Adrenochrome t-shirt. They're really good stuff. You have this one, right? With the... Is this one only if you knew how bad things are with the Epstein Island?
I have a
Disney?
different one. It has the Disney build the castle, and then it has the transgender flag on top of it, and this says propaganda underneath.
Oh, they moved it down. All right, well, you get a lot of these amazing t-shirts right now using promo code RIFT for 10% off. Make sure you check it out at redpillthreads.com, redpillthreads.com, redpillthreads.com. Promo code RIFT, links on the screen in the description. All right, so I want to check this out. So Trump called him to release the stuff, and basically what happened was the new director of the CDC then came in and basically said we might need to pull these, right? He's telling Trump that we might need to pull these. And there is this guy named Demetre, what was it called? Daskalakis?
Something like that. Yeah, Demetre
Demetre
Daskalakis.
Daskalakis? That's a crazy name.
I mean, if anybody would know about monkeypox, it'd be that guy.
Yeah, he was the director of the monkeypox division. Here he is right here. And he said that he couldn't be around something so absurd as claiming that those things are not helpful. This is pictures from his social media. He's a BDSM dominatrix. And the weirdest part here is that...
Is that Joey on the side picture with him?
Yeah.
Well, I was say Joey took the pictures, actually.
Oh, okay.
So that
Shout
was the
out
weirdest
Joey.
part. But he did it for researching monkeypox. He's trying to help the community. But so this is from his local page. I didn't even want to see the kissing part. It's so weird. That's weird to put that. This is from a news article. I know, but like
Terrible.
it is like weird to put like people kissing in a news article. I actually got to get to the editors. Let's look at that. I mean, I'm just kidding. No, it is weird. So I don't know what you call this. I'm just gonna call it BDSM. But like, what a bizarre world. This is the guy. He's forward facing. Can we talk about how weird this is?
Mm-hmm.
You should be disqualified from running in government if your identity is in your sexuality and your sexuality is a degenerate fetish. Because I don't kink shame. I always said this, I wouldn't know what you're into if I don't know what you're into.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't know it, then how could I shame it, right? Keep these things to yourself. What happened to keeping your sex life private? And also, it should be illegal to do that, kind of, too.
Yeah.
But we should be. But
Well, what we talked about in Gateway, I mean, that's what the whole administration was. You had this guy and his BDSM, talking about monkeypox. You had the other guy stealing the luggage, and he's into furries. And then you have the transgender who's supposed to be the health person. And then you have the DEI hire who is, the Speaker of the House. So it's all part of their theme that they had.
yeah, but they ended up kicking him out. He resigned because he said that they were basically undermining science. Robert Malone came out, gatewaypundit.com reported this. This is an actual crazy story written by Jim Hoff. On Sunday, Dr. Robert Malone, a pioneer of mRNA vaccine technology, clinical researcher, and now a new member of the ACIP, shredded Biden's radical pro-gay orgy czar. That's what they're calling him now. Mike Mendoza, I'm sorry.
Well,
His name is Daskalakis. I thought you guys were kidding about that.
No, Demetre Daskalakis.
I knew it was something Greek, and then Greek people always have crazy names like that, but that is like kakalaka. Like it's just like
yeah,
just
it's
gibberish.
like put it in my Daskalakis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put your Demetre in my Daskalakis. In a fire exchange over the collapse of credibility of the CDC, Malone posted bluntly, the real reason for the recent CDC resignations is that the ACIP subcommittee on COVID-19 got approval to investigate the safety and efficacy of COVID vaccines, and they knew the gig was up. The truth was about to come out that they would have to account for their actions. All you need to do is read the recently approved terms of reference for that subcommittee. This. And it all becomes clear, into which Daskalakis said that is false. The terms of reference effectively remove the real function of the work group to advise the CDC director on questions needed to set policy. FDA has vetted the safety, blah, 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 blah. So basically, Malone's just saying that like the data's out there. Trump is acting dumb. The data's going to come out. And this, by the way, I just want to be careful to clarify. They're saying that the data is going to come out that they were harmful and that Trump's running cover. And maybe that's why Trump is also nowhere to be seen. Like maybe he's in crisis mode. Maybe his health wasn't bad. Maybe he's realizing he might be held to account for.
I thought he was doing Netanyahu's laundry.
That could be it.
He probably still is. So that's the thing. And basically this guy resigned because they say he's going to be held responsible.
Yeah.
And also there's a new gay orgy on Tuesday. He can't miss it. So I always think it's crazy. Like, that's why people was like, how do you work at these companies and stuff? And then he's got Jim Hoff calling him the gay orgy czar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We also just found out there was that orgy dome at
Burning Man.
At Burning Man.
Yeah. And it was destroyed and they had to
Dome
rebuild
in the
it.
dome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Getting dome in the dome.
And afterwards, you are going to have some burning down there, man.
Yeah, your man's gonna be burning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but I think that there's gonna be some serious problems here, and I just gotta ask the question: where did he get those outfits? Because I just want to know. No, I just like I never understood. Do they make these outfits? Is that what this is? That's all.
You know where they come from, bud. No, I don't
You
know.
I mean, do
I
they
don't
make
know.
them? I mean, that looks like a self-made thing.
Maybe they have like a store they go to. I don't know. I never searched.
Imagine you go to like your Chinese shop and you're like, what do we make? They don't make it too much. Like, we will make a BDSM gear.
Yeah.
Like,
no butt, no part on the back. Show the butt.
Assless
Show
straps.
the butt. Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever seen what was that one show? Oh man, with the guy that was Leather Daddy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
No.
They like, oh, why am I? It's like with Michael Cera and
Is it Modern Family?
no,
wait,
the other one. It's old from when we were kids.
Oh, Arrested Development?
Yeah. When he goes to the store, the guy that everyone thinks is gay, but he's like swears he's not gay, and he's like, he goes to the store, they're like, what do you like? What kind of materials do you like? And he's like, I like leather. And then they're like, and who are you? He's like, I'm like a dad, He's like, so like daddy leather? And he's like, I like the sound of that. And they like dress him up in like assless chaps and stuff. And he's like, hey, this is pretty nice. He's like retarded. Anyway, that's such a good show. All right. So on the flip, I just don't know what's going on here. We'll leave it there. But I kind of want to move on to another topic here. Give me one moment. So let's talk about what's going on in the world today. I have noticed universally that people, for the most part, really don't like Indians, like genuinely. And I found this video of some of I think these are like Pakistanis or something. I don't know why this didn't go more viral. I just said, when you're with the boys and the beat slaps. These are the kind of people they're importing, by the way. Slap, that beat slaps,
Why is everybody shirtless?
It's when you're raised by flies. All right. Anyways, I didn't even know what
I could
country that was
smell
in.
that video.
It's just all cultures are equal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, long story short, that was not what I want to show you, but people really don't like immigrants. I saw this video out of Poland, and just to tell you how white people are feeling these days, here was a welcome video they made at the announcement that there was more Romanians, I think, headed into Poland. Check this out. What a warm welcome. Now, I don't speak Polish, but as we see that image on the screen there, I don't think these people are wanting refugees. I'm going to try to translate. We don't want refugees in our country. And I want to tell people, refugees, people realize now, is a term for a legal invasion of your country.
Yeah.
Like these are not refugees, right? They're not refugees. What they are is they are victims of Israel's wars overseas. And Israel, for whatever reason, expects us to resettle the people in our countries. And so when you see people like Randy Fine being like, Gazans aren't welcomed here. Look, if you support Israel, and I'm clear on this, you support your country being flooded with Muslims, low-class Muslims. You cannot support Israel and not support the mass immigration to the country. So whenever you meet someone that supports Israel, they're supporting the invasion of your country. I just want to remind you of that. Like, this is where you have to face the consequences of your actions. It's like, no, that's a reductionist argument. No, there's no causation there. Yes, it is. Israel wants this greater Israel plan. They use Western militaries through lobbying to conduct raids and wars that benefit them and them alone at our expense. Then they occupy, destabilize, and resettle the refugees after they destroy their towns into our countries. So if you support Israel's existence, if you support Israel, you support the mass immigration of third world invaders in my country, which is the main reason why I'm very much against Israel, because I don't support the invasion of my country. I don't support white countries becoming brown countries. I don't support my country being flooded with Muslims. So when you have fucking retards like Avi Yemeni, who is like, oh, Muslims don't belong here in Australia. And then meanwhile, you see there's like thousands of Gazans being relocated where? To Australia. Because why are the Gazans going to Australia? Oh, maybe because Israel destroyed their homeland. How about that? So it's like, wow. And then he's like, wow, why is all these anti-Israeli sentiment from all these Muslims in our country? Well, because the West is arming Israel. They're in Australia, these Muslims, in a country that's sending money to Israel that destroyed their homeland, which is why they're there. Of course they hate you. Of course they don't want to be around you. It's like these people are actually stupid because they don't realize, it's like, I don't like war. I just work for Northrop Grumman. It's like, well, you do support war because you literally work for the military-industrial complex. Yeah, but I don't really support it. It's like, then quit.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Israel's been behind it for a while. We look at all the NGOs, all those corporations usually have someone from Israel who's running those, flooding all our countries, flooding all Western countries. They're not going to accept them into their country. Then you also have, I was reading here how they're talking about now removing 2 million residents from Gaza. They're offering them a $5,000 payment. But where do you think those 2 million people are going? It's 2 million people, sorry, that they're removing. They're going to send them somewhere. They're going to try to flood the United States with it. Other countries like the UK, I'm sure that they're going to get a big chunk of it. Israel's not going to take them. And it just kind of makes you think, too, the whole plan of melting pot comes from somebody who's from Israel as well, where they have this thing to destroy all national identity, to pretty much erase us as, especially here in America being, where white was predominantly the race, and flood us with different nationalities so everybody doesn't look the same. It's harder to unite, and then they can just kind of crush out Christianity and many other things.
Yeah, do you not see the connection though, Mendoza? Like, am I the only person that's just like, you cannot support Israel without accepting the consequence of what that support means? And supporting them means that something's going to have to happen with the people they displace. And either A, we're going to have to rebuild their countries and, rebuild their homes. But what are we doing in Gaza? We're going to be building, I don't know if you saw today, the plan to actually put the tourist real estate. You're literally building your homes on the graves of dead babies. By the way, I was with like my 10-month-old today, and I was, because you have a little baby too. Right. I guess she's not like, she's turning into a toddler soon.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
walking,
but still a baby. I think they're like a toddler once they're 2. They're still kind of a baby when they're like, below that.
Yeah.
But it's like, you look at them and I'm just like, man, like this sounds really dark, but I'm like, man, imagine if like this house just blew up and like my son's head knocked off his shoulders. You have to think about this stuff as a man, Like, what would I do holding my son's head in my hand? Like, I wouldn't talk to my wife about this because it's too gruesome for women, but like, you see these images on online, and again, people are like, well, the U.S. did this in Iraq and Afghanistan. True, I don't think we carpet bombed like that, but also, but why were we over there? We also were over there for Israel as well. So this wasn't about the U.S., right? So again, these are Israel's wars. Why didn't all our veterans kill themselves? Because they realized they fought for nothing. Yeah. Like, I'm not being rude to the veterans, but it's true. It's like, shit.
And we got to stop this whole mindset where you just compare evil with evil. Well, that, they did something evil, so it's okay if we're doing this. It's okay. No, let's hold ourselves to a higher standard. Let's not allow, pretty much the genocide of a country, having women and children being slaughtered daily. I don't support Israel. I don't support Palestine, but I do, value human life, and what's going on over there is absolutely disgusting. So,
well, yeah, and that's why I like to kind of put into perspective. There was this march over the weekend in Australia, which is kind of surprising, actually. If you're new to the show here, or you're watching a rerun, I imagine more of you guys will watch this as a rerun tomorrow. There was a huge march, the Million March, that was in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. I don't know if they had one in Perth or on the Gold Coast. I don't imagine, but it was in at least the 3 major cities, and it was Australians marching against immigration. And the problem that we have as white people, or as people who support white people, is that white people have a ideological problem due to the nature of society, to where they have a really hard time advocating for themselves, right? Because they view advocating for themselves as a form of a negative thing. So it's like they're very afraid to use the phrase white supremacy, white nationalism, when really, if you think about the rudimentary definition of like what white nationalism means, it means a nation that looks out for, like a white nation that looks out for its own people. But they happen to believe the lies that we've always been multicultural, we've always been multi-ethnic, which none of these things are true, right? They're not true. They're not true. Like even the United States had a hard time even integrating the Irish, but yet they're still British. They're not British. I guess they kind of are, but they may not see themselves as such. But you know, they're still heavily related to the English. We really were just like an English, you know, we're an English country. That's really what we are. We're English. I'm half English. And, you know, there was a problem with my German family and the English, you know, and there was problems back then too. But the Anglo-Saxon, as you'd call them, you know, like the sort of what we've become. But never once, you know, were we ever very much an Eastern European country. We were not a, you know, particularly a French country. We do have some French towns. The French ended up settling more up in Canada, right? They have their colonies. And we kicked the Spanish out, and we were not a Mexican country because we got Mexico after it was only Mexican land for a few years, and I think it was like what, just a couple years or something like that. They had the land, and then we kicked the Spanish out down here in southern Florida. So in reality, we are a conquering nation, and especially Western Europe, people are starting to realize that this like idea of like we can't advocate for white people probably isn't going to work, and we're probably gonna have to just start making it a racial issue. That's sort of what people are noticing. And the reason why I bring this up is because the organizers of this march allowed the NSN to speak, who are white advocates, and like a lot of people, aka Avi. Could you believe that? Did you see that with Avi Yemeni? Avi's like, they don't represent us. Like, who's us, dude? You're an Israeli. Like. No, he's like, these are real Australians, and he interviews Africans.
No.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Well, I also saw something too where he was saying that like pretty much when he felt uncomfortable, when he felt that that he was being threatened as a Jewish person, then he has somewhere else to go, which is like, yeah, okay. Well, not every group of people has that luxury, unfortunately. We would have, but obviously things have gone in a very different direction over the last 100 years. And more specifically, more concisely, over the last 20, 30 years, it's gotten particularly worse. But I mean, yeah, English people couldn't go back to. I saw some girl on a Twitter today talking about this, but she always dreamed to go to London, and then when she went to London, now it's just completely overrun by all kinds of migrants from North Africa, the Arab world, or whatever. So. Yeah, we don't have the same luxury, but Avi's kind of taking it for granted because, I mean, to be honest, his people are parasites. They want to extract from the host and then give nothing back.
Yeah,
So-
well, and that's why you ever notice that's why he's the gatekeeper there. This is why he was so threatened when I was there because, you know, again, he did really good work during COVID, but you know, that's what they do. They'll do good work on transgender issues. They'll do good work on COVID while they're causing COVID.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
And where does transgender comes from?
Yeah, exactly. From the Talmud. So
Yeah.
it's like they'll be like helping support you. They'll give you like throw you a Shabbos Jew, you know, to come help you. Meanwhile, they're the ones literally causing the issue. And like look what the Muslims are that were brought into Germany. Listen to this. Check this out. These are the people that, you know, Avi's complaining about when it's like, hey buddy, you're the reason why these people are here. Watch.
Die sagen, ich will hier keine Scharia in Deutschland. Das ist Schwachsinn. Jeder, der sich
Den Islam verändern. Du bist für authentischen Islam, so wie er ist.
als Muslim bezeichnet, muss die Scharia wollen auf der ganzen Welt. Ich will die Scharia in Deutschland auf jeden Fall.
Würdest du die deutsche Verfassung aushebeln, wenn du die Gelegenheit hättest?
Auf jeden Fall. Auf
Okay,
jeden
danke.
Fall.
Wie zum Beispiel? Wie könnte man jetzt aus Deutschland einen islamischen Staat machen? Wie zum Beispiel?
Laut den Werken ist das so, dass man, wenn man in der Mehrheit ist, wie Sie auch erklärt haben, sind wir dafür befohlen, Deutschland einzunehmen, auf jeden Fall.
Also es ist das ist eine islamische Pflicht, auch Deutschland einzunehmen.
Auf jeden Fall.
Ich respektiere deine Ehrlichkeit und du bist ja gegen die Liberalen, die jetzt sagen, nein, das stimmt nicht und wir sollen hier in Frieden leben.
Muslime zu sein. Warum?
Es ist eine Auseinandersetzung, wir oder ihr. Entweder ihr übernimmt uns oder wir euch.
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Und darum gibt es diesen liberalen Islam. Gibt
es eine Unterscheidung politischer Islam und anderer Islam?
Jetzt bin ich jetzt im politischen Islam, wenn ich sage, ich will die Scharia, dann...
Ja. Nein, ich meine, Islam ist doch in alle Lebensbereiche. Kannst du sagen, Islam hat in Politik nichts zu tun?
Gar keinen Fall.
Das ist Kufr, oder nicht?
Natürlich. Ja. Und
Yeah, Islam doesn't assimilate, it only expands. So these guys will invite these people in who hate us, by the way. And I want to remind you guys, if you're just watching this, they're here because of Israel's wars and the wars we fight for Israel. And then people like the NSN will come out and they will explain that we need to return back to our greatness. Here's a great like edit of what we need to return to. Pax Americana, kind of reminds us of our heritage, right? We see images of who our people were. Love these like retro edits.
It's like a classic video game music.
I know. Yeah, exactly. So what happened is a bunch of Europeans who didn't want to live under authoritarian rule and wanted to kind of restart with some, I would say some form of democratic liberalism in some ways. In some ways, it was more authoritarian. In a lot of ways, it was a representative republic. Came in with some of these classical ideals. Did they get everything right? No, but definitely not giving women and blacks the right to vote. I mean, it might sound kind of extreme, but what good has come from that? And that's a real good question.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not making the claim that it was a bad thing. I'm just asking you, tell me what good came from it, right? So I'm going to put it in people's terms. People tell me it's such a good thing, right? These amendments are so good. So then what good came from it? And then quite frankly, once we desegregated and forced integration, what good came from that? What good has come from living around black people? Now, you could be like, wow, you're being so derogatory and racist. I didn't even say it was a bad thing. Now, I did lose my car this last Sunday.
Yeah.
Got my gun stolen, thankfully. You know what I mean? Like, it was great. You know what I mean? It's great so that my fucking deodorant can be locked up in a case with behind glass, like it's a bank or something like that. Even my banks have to have bulletproof glass too. It's like, what good? I'm asking you. It's such a good idea. The way we changed what our founding fathers wanted, like, because obviously saying what the National Socialists want is to return back to the founding of Australia. If you look at the Australia and the United States, same thing. About Australia policy, America had its policies to exclude women, non-land owning men, basically non-lazy, non-pedigreed men from taking part in this republic. It wasn't a democracy, and now we've changed it. And what good has come from it? Because last time I checked, the only areas that you want to live in are the areas where there is no integration with blacks. And where white men still hold the power.
Yeah. Well, nothing good has come from it. I mean, they like to screw us over and then say it's good. Like all the amendments coming in, they're like, oh, this is great for the country. Absolutely not great for the country. I still don't know why they say Israel's our greatest ally. I don't see any benefit from that either. What they really want to do is that they don't want us to go back to what we were. They want to create something new. The most hated right now is pretty much the white race. And if you're a Christian, even much more. They want to destroy our history. They want to rewrite it. We've seen that with them changing, the textbooks. We've seen that with ripping down monuments and many other ways they've gone about it. So they just want to destroy everything about us, everything about our culture, and pretty much eradicate lower the population as much as possible.
Well, yeah, I like people too, like, let's do what Elijah does and flee to El Salvador and shill Bitcoin. It's funny. It's like literally a Spanish colony. What our ancestors literally did was flee their country, conquer the native people, and conquer Spanish colonies. It's like, it's a very funny thing. It's like, you don't know our history, how we became a nation. Like, How do you think we got Florida, buddy? We came in and fled into a Spanish colony and conquered it. Like, are you fucking stupid? Like, people just don't even, they think America was always like a strip mall with an Applebee's. Like, it's like, they don't know how we were founded.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I'll say, before I went to El Salvador, of course, when I heard how Bukele was bringing his troops in, how he was going to certain levels to make sure that the country was cleaned up, I was a little concerned. When you have anybody with that much power, it's a dangerous game. But luckily, the country of El Salvador, their leader has been great. Bukele has been a great leader. And to see how he's went ahead and changed the country around is just amazing. Went from being one of the most dangerous places you could walk down the street to being like one of the most safest. I was even out there at 3 a.m. walking around and nobody gave me any trouble. There's parts of America where I'd have to worry about that a lot. So unfortunately, the way
here by the train tracks.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want to walk around 3 a.m. at night.
No, not at all. So, the one thing too is the way the country is now, we have so much influx of illegals. We have so much crime. We have so many things that are going on. And unfortunately, little baby steps aren't going to get us to where we need to be, and to see how he went in there and said, you know what, I'm going to fix this country. I'm going to save this country. he went ahead and he did it. And unfortunately, the way we are in the U.S. right now, we're going to have to take extreme measures as well. I was hoping that we were going to see roundups at Home Depot, roundups everywhere else when Trump came in office, but we didn't get any of that, you know. Instead, we're getting, you know, large amounts of Chinese students and H-1B visas handed out left and right. So unfortunately, the place we're at now, I'm not calling for anything crazy, but we do need extreme measures to actually go ahead so we can save our country, because otherwise we're spiraling down. It's only going to get worse.
Well, yeah. And you know what people don't understand is like, we have like surveillance, like in El Salvador, you know, we have protection and we are able to talk and have adult discussions is all I'll say. And so, you know, there are discussions you're gonna have to have in life without phones on. There's discussions you have to have in life not around computers. There's discussions you have to have in secret locations. That's what they did in the day. Remember, it was just a colony. Like a country wasn't a country. They literally were there were separate colonies, right? We had what? 13 colonies at the time or whatever. I mean, people are just so ignorant to the actual reality. Like I know my family's history. I know I've read their journals. I realize what they thought. I've read the journals of our founding fathers. I see the way they thought and what was going on in their head. And they have the same mindset I did is how do we win? Yeah. Right? So it's not about how do I do what was done before me? How do I win? And I've got to do something new. I've got to do something new. So my plan is to have bases in several places. I believe you have to be international now, and you have to have backup for your backup. And I believe you have to have protection from other governments. You have to side with your ideology, with right-wing ideology, because there's only so many people. Like, let's just say this. Let's say, like I have some ways more respect for the Chinese government than I have recently for our own, because at least the Han Chinese government cares about unifying Han Chinese land and rulership. Do I support communism? No. Do I say I support their government system? No. And do I want to live under it? Absolutely not. But, you know, the strength of wanting to unify the Chinese and caring about unification and bringing Taiwan in and getting the Uyghurs under control and shutting down Islam, and sort of like, I can respect that. Yeah. You know, I can respect the force that they're using, and the fact that they went, you know what? Yeah, we fucked up with communism a little bit. Let's just steal all of their trade secrets and literally create megacities that copy theirs on a larger scale. Because that's all they do, right? They just copy us. They don't have any creativity. The Asians don't have any creativity. That's like actually a truthful statement. Yeah. They don't have any, like, they're not balanced people. They're just smart. Like they know how to copy really well. You ever seen them? They all cheat on their tests. You know, like they do. That's why they have like really strict, like they're the biggest cheaters in school. I used to be a high school teacher. All the Asian students, just big fucking cheaters. And it's like, because they're good at that kind. They're good at breaking the rules. They're like smart Indians, you know. Yeah. Indians scam, they cheat. But I mean, in retrospect, it's like I'm now talking to people who want to win, and when I see what's going on in Australia, I'm more like these guys. Let me show you these guys.
You can't even speak up in Australia. I mean, you're not even allowed back there. We were supposed to go back, and they denied you. Yeah,
I can't even get into the country anymore. Yeah. Which is really frustrating, considering the fact that one of my family members is dying right now, potentially, and we need to get back there. And I don't know how to get back to see family, so I probably can't go with my own kids. So I have to, like, you know, figure out a very, you know, interesting way to get them back in, considering the fact that they're citizens in Australia. And to the dumb, like, people that like don't understand that it's a fight for the Anglosphere. Like, we're not just fighting. It's not just fighting for America. America's the leader of the Anglosphere, but, like, you know, those are the same people who don't understand why we need to fight for Australia. Are the same people who don't understand the importance of El Salvador, and are the same people who think that Texas is a Republican state. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't realize that Texas is one of the most non-white states, I think it is, in the entire union, and some of the most liberal cities and strongholds. It just has a lot of rural whites that have, you know, gerrymandered power, but it's gone. Texas is an idea.
It was the H-1B virus has spread crazy where we were. Which part of Texas?
Everywhere.
Yeah, it was bad.
Houston, Dallas.
Yep.
The only city that's still white is Austin.
Yeah.
Which
and
is
that's super liberal. One. It's liberal too. It's very liberal.
No, it's true. Like, and also people that keep saying they like cocaine are not going to El Salvador. El Salvador does not have cocaine. No. So to clarify, they got rid of the cartels and the drug people. You cannot get drugs.
Don't do anything in El Salvador.
You
can't
want to
even
do cocaine
drink. Don't even take one beer and drive in El Salvador.
No, you go to jail.
Yeah.
0.00 to drive. It's a right-wing authoritarian government. Yeah. They have law and order, buddy. You cannot do. You do drugs, it's like Indonesia or something. You're done. Bali,
straight to jail.
You're done.
Yeah.
You're going to CCOT.
Yep. Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
No. There's no messing around when you're in El Salvador. Even when you're drinking, that was one of their biggest problems they actually had, was there were so many drunk driving accidents. So that's why they had to implement making sure that nobody could drink at all. So Uber business is booming over there right now.
Yeah, and then how do you win? Here's how you win. I'm trying to start a network right here, and we have 3 new shows starting that's not influenced by Zionism. That's not just like, a show in my house. We're trying to actually build a network of people, give people opportunities and jobs. That's a big thing. We're trying to give people jobs so that people can have careers and raise families and do it telling the truth. And the way we're going to do it is I cannot find brave American people who I can meet in America who are willing to help fund, support, and operate something like this. I'm having to go all around the world and find Westerners who care about our country, Americans that are international people that realize that aren't dumb, that realize the problem is across the board, and that, you know what? Right now, the best example of a country that is doing what we need to do is El Salvador. That's why we're all interested, because it's what needs to happen here. Somebody to go in and waive the rights of the criminals, put them in prison, execute the bad ones, go move into the neighboring countries and the neighboring surrounding areas, help them build the same prisons, do the same thing, create an international union of Anglosphere countries, and we have to do that. And right now, all the world leaders are meeting in El Salvador. Go look at the Americans that are there. It's all the right-wing Americans are there all the time. Senators, congressmen, former senators, right-wing people, German AFD leaders. Everybody's meeting in El Salvador because everyone's like, how do we meet? And when I go to El Salvador, I'm not meeting with El Salvadoran people. Like, El Salvador is like with the Dutch, with the Spanish, like the actual Spanish from Spain, right? French, British. We're meeting with like international communities of people trying to figure out that's all I can really say is, what do we do? Because we've all got the same problem, right? And it's nice to be around people. When you get around right-wing people in the United States, all they want to talk about is how much we can cut to the Jews. That's all they want to talk about. That's all they want to talk about. How do we support Israel? Oh, are you an anti-Semite? Are you this? You get out there and they're like, all right, we're going to have to get Israel out of our countries.
They understand Zionism and how it's destroying countries. They absolutely.
All the Anglos, all of them do. But they're not safe in their own countries because a lot of them, including ourselves, can get arrested, lose funding if we meet in our own countries. So we're getting together and we're trying to solve this, bring together resources and money, and whether it's in media and tech, we're all trying to start our own things and like branch out. And people just sit there and judge and complain when it's like, we have to be doing something. Yeah. And as of right now, it's informing people. That's what because people are not going to get behind if they're not informed.
Unfortunately, too, we have to have safety nets because, especially as the boomers fade off, Israel knows they're going to be losing the narrative. I mean, boomers are really the ones that are always back in Israel. So the more you see that happen as they fade away, you're going to see more of these laws coming out about speech, talking bad about, anybody that's from Israel, bringing up anything about their government. They're going to find ways to silence us. I mean, we're already seeing it begin now. It's only going to get worse, especially when you have technology like Palantir and all this other stuff coming out. It's going to be full control of us. So to be a network that's non-biased, that's coming out and only putting the truth out there, that's the biggest threat to them.
What I think is what we should do is we really should get, what someone said, we need to get the poos to infiltrate Israel.
They will not allow it.
Dude, but dude, the poos are a bigger problem do you think it's the poos or the Jays?
For what's more of trouble, I would say.
I feel like the poos have
I'll
infiltrated.
say Z because I won't say all of them, but the Zionists are more of a threat. Yeah,
and the Hindus are Zionists.
Yeah, well, what they're doing is they're the ones in Zionism and all these. They're the ones that are importing them here. They're the ones that are bringing all the problems that we're having from all these other nations. They're like, hey, head over to America, head over to the UK. They're not going to take them into their own country. So a lot of times, even like slave ships back in the day, they hate to say it, but their majority were Jewish owned. So it's just their ploy to push them over here. Do I think it's trouble to have too many, especially the way the poos are in their country? Yeah, you have to worry about rape. You have to worry about the hygiene. You have to worry about being scammed. You have to worry about Ed wearing his shoes. So there's a lot of different cases we have to worry for.
I never seen Braden go barefoot in here.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this.
But you have to yell at him to keep his shirt on half the show.
Yeah, right.
That's true. That's true. But he does raise us money. No, but that's the idea though. I wanted to show you guys something. Basically, one of the main things that we need to know. Let me go down here. Is like it's bad when the Muslims are telling us that we're retarded. Like, listen, I think this is the UAE, one of the princes or one of their leaders talking on a forum podcast of like, why are you guys so dumb? And that question is I don't think we're dumb. I think that we've always had a high trust society, so we have no reason to really doubt our governments. We haven't really had like a lot of wars in our homeland here in the United States in a long time, or in our lifetime. And so we just kind of assumed that like our government looks out for us and our news wouldn't lie to us, but we didn't realize that our news and our government and stuff had been co-opted by foreign people, right? So the first invasion was when our institutions were taken over. And look what he's saying, like, how stupid are you guys? Watch this.
You're allowing it to happen. You can put rules and regulation, deport those Islamists. Do not let them harm your children. Do not let them harm your society, your community. Do not let them be the people who wake up on the 8th of October, for example, and tell you to boycott challah, attack a Jewish restaurant just for being a Jew. And they justify it and they allow it. Don't be. This is your country. This is your civilization. You cannot be Muslim more than me. You will not be more Arab than I. So why is it that I banned the Muslim Brotherhood and you haven't? Why is it the fact that Islamic Relief is banned in UAE and it's banned in Mecca, but is allowed in Paris and in London? So it's, yeah, there's a lot of questions to be asked.
Right? He's like, you could just deport these people. It's like, wow, we got Muslim rape gangs. You could just deport them all. Like you could just deport these people. It's like, yeah, but it would make people mad. So I guess we're just gonna have to die and get raped. That's why you know it's not our people, because what you're seeing a division, like you're seeing in Australia, New Zealand, is that there are people. This is why it's not just white people, though. It isn't just white people that care. But I will say that that people are realizing that it's gonna have to become a banding together of pretty much just white people and a few other people, to the point where, I don't know if you saw this, but like an Indian guy in Australia tried to do that thing where it's like, yeah, this is all of our country, and like I love living here too. I'm like one of us. And
the one that got booed?
He got booed and pushed off the stage. He tried to do that like big tent conservatism. Look at this.
Yes, I'm an immigrant from India, but I came here for the right reason. I came here by the right path to enjoy the culture of Australia, to live by the work ethics of Australia, and to contribute to the economy of
Dude. Yeah, it's like at a certain point you're like, look, dude, just get off the stage, buddy. Like
Read the room.
Yeah. Hey, like you may be allowed to stay. You might be one of the ones that are allowed to stay, but like just now's not the time to be like,
yeah, this is not it, bud.
Like, yeah. I like, and this is why people wonder why I'm so focused on this issue, is because like, you know, there's nowhere else to go. Like all we have left in America is to head north, right? It's just get out of warm climates. Chicago's already cooked, but Chicago's already segregated, in my opinion. It's already right. Isn't Chicago segregated?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's already goes through like pre. It never integrated.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about officially, but I mean, once you ride the train, like so the red line goes north and south. Once you pass Chinatown, which is like 35th Street, it's just all black people. It's night and day. It's crazy because Hyde Park is right after Chinatown, which is where Obama is from, quote unquote. But yeah, literally like everything for sure past Hyde Park is just all black people coming in and out of the train. Once you go north of like downtown though, it's a pretty decent mix. But yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't mean to be rude, but like this is my point, is like they're trying to prevent us from organizing, and what's happening is we're organizing. When you look up, I want to show you real fast. When you look up Australia immigration march, look at what they label it. Look at this. It's like far right anti-immigration protests worry leaders in Australia. See, they're worried, right? They're worried because we're organizing. Government condemns the rally. Why is the government condemning a Democratic?
People are asking.
Yeah, we're like why would the government? It didn't just say like, oh, Labor, or like, Democrats condemn it as a Republican rally. How neo-Nazis use the shield of ordinary mums and dads at immigration rally. Down here, it's like multicultural leaders. See, like this is a movement. Describe fear and disappointment. Our country is bursting at the seams. Violent clashes. Yeah, buddy, you don't understand. The world is a very violent place. Mm-hmm. All I'm gonna say, It's a very violent place. And white people, you guys are the ones who say that we were violent colonizers. Maybe you should be careful. Like I always think, maybe you should be careful. Maybe all the things you say about us that we're evil and we're racist. What if you should start believing those things? And I'm going to give a fair warning. You should believe those things because they're very, very true. And we're not really ashamed of it. We're not ashamed of our history. We didn't take over the world by being nice to you guys. We brought you civilization. You're welcome. And to those that submitted and to those that were apart, we were kind. Now we've had Jewish people bring in these nons into our countries. And this is not about racism. It's about the survival of our children. This is about the survival of our children. You're not even against interracial marriage or anything. We're not an all-white company here or anything like that. But we cannot continue like this. And I think the smart non-white people know that if the whites aren't running things, it's going to be very bad. And we already see what happens in cities when the whites aren't running things. What is London with a Muslim mayor? What is Chicago with a black mayor, with black mayors? What are these states and countries? Look at Los Angeles being run by the Mexicans. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's not a very nice place. Austin's still very nice because it's all run by white people. Dallas is falling apart. It's breaking at the seams because it's run by Mexicans and blacks. And it's like, hey, because you can go to any Latin country and it's not great.
Then you have the Chicago mayor coming out and he's like, oh, Chicago's safe. Everything's great. I mean, they had 59 shootings just over this weekend. And then he's trying to sign an order to stop Trump from coming in and actually cleaning out Chicago. The thing about all these officials, all these in all these different countries, these politicians, they're well aware of what they're doing. They don't mind that the countries are being destroyed. As long as their palms are being greased up and they're collecting that money, they really don't care. And that's why they're getting scared now, because the narrative that they've pushed on so long, the way they were able to brainwash, as I mentioned, boomers earlier, and brainwash people easily, it's not working anymore. And we're getting sick and tired of it because we're seeing that our country is being destroyed, our history is being destroyed, and we have to go ahead and we have to protect the future generations. You know, a lot of times I talk to people that have kids, and I understand when they say, like, well, I got to stay out of this fight because I have my kids and I just need to not be a part of it. But all you're doing is you're just waiting, and eventually you're going to be gone and your kids are going to be left with all the problems that you decided not to take head on. And guess what? They have to face those problems now. So, you know, people are just sick and tired of it.
Yeah, well, they're sick and tired of the endless wars. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It is what it is. But I will. That's your line, by the way. I thought you were gonna say it, but I said it for you. Yeah. I mean, I think it's at that point that the Anglo-Saxon began to hate. You know, that's the phrase. That's a very famous phrase. They began to hate, and I.
Well, that's why they try to brainwash us to not take pride in who we are. I mean, that's really what they do now. They don't want us in school. Kids are taught that are white are taught to hate their history, to hate who they are, and that they've done something wrong when they haven't. They're trying to, you know, pretty much just lower us down as much as possible, to be shameful of who we are, be shameful of our history, versus actually what they know is that we're their biggest threat, you know?
Yeah, but here's the thing. So realistically speaking, I was meeting with some people because I'm considering move to Coeur d'Alene just to be around my people and to organize, right? Because I think it's organization is where we're going to go. I'm talking to people today. You know, there's some fraternities that are developing to start to voice our opinions and our needs. Look, I don't care anymore. Like, I will not accept defeat. I will continue on. We will continue to be mainstream, and we are going to advocate for our people. And the reason we're talking about this so much today is because the UK is going through the same thing, right? With their waving their flag, and they're being told that they're racist for waving their own flag. I think we have some stuff about that, right, in the chat. I wanted to play a video here from Australia to where the individuals are asked, like, you know, they're trying to get us on. They're like, don't you not want the National Socialists speaking at your rallies because they're bad? And it's like, you know what? One guy says it right in here. It's like, you know, if people are advocating right now to just say protect the white race, we'll figure out politics later. But right now we just need to figure this out because, you know what? You guys sided with the communists to win World War II. So sincerely, you can go fuck yourself because you aren't one to lecture me about, you know, not siding with the bad guys when reality is that this is a matter of whether I have a homeland. This isn't a matter of whether I like his economic policies or the way that he prosecutes crime. It's like, this is about whether I have a place where my kids can live and be safe in, right? Listen to this.
It was disgusting. Save my little kids here. I wore that Aboriginal flag to show solidarity. March as one. together. And look what these fucking idiots have done.
I am Australian. You don't need to attack Australia, not communism. Get out. Go fuck yourself, bro.
My 2 little girls cry over a bunch of Nazi shit. Fuck off.
Brother, 99% of us here are with you. We'll protect your kids no matter what. And we'll protect you. Right?
That's the Aussie way.
That's the Aussie way.
That's the Aussie way.
Can I ask you, you served in the military, are you concerned that there's neo-Nazis that are on the stage right now?
It doesn't matter who's up there, as long as we're united against the same enemy. That's all that matters.
What do you think about this Nazi group that's just rocked up?
I think if they're sticking up for their country, that's all I care about.
Things are happening in Australia. I heard some people say that this group doesn't matter and their tactics are dumb, and I've said it works there.
Yeah, I am.
I've seen it. People respect
I'm not
them.
letting fear stop me stand up for what I believe in, and that's Australia. I reckon it's a bloody beautiful country.
Let's go!
There are also neo-Nazi groups here, National Socialist Network. You don't feel unsafe with that?
Not at all. Not at all. I've been here since the beginning. Nobody said anything to me.
Are you concerned that there are like racist groups here, like Nazi groups here, the one that rocked up just before?
Yeah, a little bit.
Very minority. Very minority.
Bill?
The ones speaking on the podium. Yeah, not concerned by that?
Not really, no.
Typical Aussie police just pepper spraying people for no reason.
At the same time, I'm just like worried because we're trying to go in, we're trying to go in as well, support everybody, but like it seems like we're the main target,
Wow, brilliant, brilliant guys.
Do you feel safety?
That's how they're scholars.
That's right now. We're in shambles. I think we're the only black team in this whole audience right now. I'll be serious.
Rein in mass immigration, get our house in order. Australia's built on immigrants. We need to keep having immigration, but not a wide Australia policy.
Look at all the old diggers. They must be just absolutely rolling in their grave. They fought World War I, World War II.
Do you think they'd be rolling in their grave that there's a neo-Nazi group right here, given that they fought them in the war?
Most probably. It's much too extreme. Well, we'll come and escort them out, will we? Me and you.
Let's go.
Let's go for a rumble.
It's such an Australian mentality. It's like just making fun. They was just making fun of everything. It's like, oh, well, what are we gonna do about it? It's always the same thing. Well, what are you gonna do about it? We're gonna escort them out. Like, why are you asking me about this? We can't change anything. But I think that the mentality that's why they're nervous is because these people were given a main stage and it didn't cause a national uproar. In fact, the people are like, well, this is how things happen in these countries, by the way. It's kind of exciting. Not because I particularly support, Nazism or anything like that. I don't consider myself to be a national socialist. I don't, I don't think in America that's what we need here or anything like that. But what I think is how do these groups come to power? People ask, how do they come to power? Well, it's when you start transgendering children and you flood the country with people who don't represent them, and you invite an extreme group in. That's what happens. The only answer to extremism is extremism. Moderate mentality will not suffice. Yeah. And so, by no means, because people like to clip the show out of context sometimes. By no means am I like saying, Nazis should be running Australia or whatever, because that's, obviously not. It's not. I'm not a citizen there, and it's not my place to be telling the Australians how what political system they want. But to see Australians, since they are a democracy, that a lot of them are saying maybe we do want that, then I say then let them have what they want, right? And I unfortunately for them, I do believe the only end to this extremism that's been lot upon the white Western world is going to be an extreme backlash. And I think there's going to be a lot of terrorism. I think there's going to be a lot of right-led terrorism. I think they want that too, because they want to enforce a strict police state. And so I do believe that, on one hand, there's a little bit of a fear that I have that they want to criminalize, white solidarity and collectivism. But on the other hand, it's like maybe they're not as well prepared as you think. And maybe these people, since they're so corrupt and they're really just serving based on money, maybe they don't have the balls to really fight. I don't know if you think that, but maybe these people don't really have the balls to really fight their own people, because, you saw even in Australia, even the trucker convoy, they started violating their own constitution to freeze people's bank accounts.
In Canada?
Yeah, in Canada because of just clogging one expressway. Like, you know, the fragility. There's one, you know, Australia doesn't have marches like this. They don't do anything like this. And they're not a protesting people. They're a she'll be all right, mate, kind of people. And so, you know, people say, oh, you know, 100,000 people, that's not a lot of people. Mate, that's, you know, 27, 28 million people. That's the equivalent of like 5 to 10 million Americans getting together in the streets to protest immigration. It's a big deal. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's a big deal per capita of what just happened here. And it's a first for them. So I think, like I said, Australia's a testing ground. So if the testing ground isn't going well for the world, you know, global Jewish elite, then I don't know if it's going to look good for them in the future.
I love after watching one video about Australia, you're calling everybody mate again.
Well, I'm calling them mates because you'd call them mates. I'm calling you bro or dude. You know, we're patriots, but they're mates.
Gotcha.
So like that's their bonding, right?
No, but they're gravitating more towards that because you said it's extreme measures. Right now they're being pushed down, they're being silenced. I mean, you see that a lot of times in just even smaller instances. So for instance, like when Trump was coming in office, you know, a lot of people, we voted for him because he was loud, he was outspoken. It was different than what we had. We were called the silent majority before, and then we're no longer the silent, you know, we didn't want to be silent. Same thing, Andrew Tate, you know, a lot of men gravitate towards him because they were told that, you know, anything to do with being a man is wrong, you know, you're man explaining or all these other kind of crazy terms. And now, right now, as you see with this group, it's the same thing. They see their country being destroyed. They see it being invaded by, you know, illegal immigrants. And they're pretty much like, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And that's why they're gravitating more towards it. And they're like, we need extreme measures because if we're just lukewarm, we're not going to get any results.
Yeah. And like, I think that's kind of like Mendoza, like they're doing that thing that they do. It's like if they walked up to you, it's like, there's a brown guy. Let's ask him about the Nazis. And you're just like, I mean, maybe I'm like a little bit, but like, I don't think.
Mendoza would be like, my heart goes out to all of them.
Exactly, yeah. Actually, no.
Yeah, it's like, but you know, they did that thing, right?
Yeah.
Like to an Asian.
Give a Bellamy salute, Mike.
I actually know how I would react like this.
Well, you know, we are just getting tired of it. And we are getting solution oriented, and I'm working. I think it's going to be. We have years in the process, but the great organization and the great solidarity of the white movement is coming. And you know what I noticed is people don't even. The only people that really throw around the word Nazi anymore and white nationalist are liberals embedded in the right wing. Did you ever notice that?
Did what? I'm sorry, I was reading the chat.
It's liberals embedded in the right wing.
Yeah,
are the only people that throw around the word Nazi and white nationalist and pejorative now. Like. Even the left isn't coming against us as much because they see a solidarity in being against Israel.
Yep.
Like the anti-fascists aren't really having much sway in their own party because it's not really against fascism now; it's against Israel.
Well, you're seeing the right more attack us now than anything.
Yeah. Well, the right is against us.
Yeah, completely. The left is kind of pulling back a little bit, but the right is full steam ahead. If you mention anything against Israel, if you say anything, you're anti-Semitic, you're a Nazi, you know, all these crazy things that they like to throw at us to try to curve the narrative as much as possible.
Yeah, I do believe we are in for a rude awakening. That being said, we also have a super chat here on was that on YouTube? Let me read this one here. JT follow SJC. Is that JT? Hey, yeah, come on the show. I think we did a show when I was in Australia and something happened to the show and it never went up. And I don't know why. I don't remember why. I have to remember why. That was like back in 2023, I think. JT, feel free. Hit up mike.mendoza@rifttv.com and come on the show. We'll have you on next week for sure. I'll be around. I'd love to have you in the studio. He's awesome. He's awesome. He covers like in depth, like he's like really like truthful history, like what's really happening in the history of the world. He's a really good YouTuber and a very good podcaster, a very big podcaster too. So it'd be cool to have you on. And that's good to see you in the chat. Awesome. Thank you for the super chat, man. We would love to have you on the show. And then on top of that, shout out to everyone who's watching as well. You know, typically in the show, you know, sometimes we go a little bit longer. People said, yeah, like James Lindsay. Yeah, well, James Lindsay is an atheist who tweeted out, I'm going to embed myself, pretend to be a Christian and subvert the Christians. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I had a show with an atheist as well who subverted as well and destroyed because they wanted the show to be liberal and feminist and then also screwed over the Quartering as well. And now the Quartering and I are friends again, which is like funny how things just swing around. You know, I'm going to say this, you know, things just go around. That's why I don't ever hold grudges because things just go around and Quartering and I made up and, you know, we both got screwed by the same person basically. And we both know the same things and You know, it'd be a shame if we ever told people, but you know, him and I are better people than those people. And we kind of came together and realized, you know what? Let's not be evil. Let's be friends. And then we became friends again. So that's cool.
Nice.
So we refollow each other online. Shout out to the Quartering and his audience. I support you guys. No more brother wars, right? No more brother wars.
We don't got time. We got to focus on our real threats.
Let's like the bitches, the Jews and the Muslims and the Indians and stuff. Come on. And apparently the Reformed Christians, you know, after we went through last week, that was crazy. It was nonstop, man.
Oh, you were bombarded for having Joel on. Joel's a great guy. It's just crazy. You know, his faith is very strong. His love for the country and everything involved. And just to see the way that you were attacked is just, it's insane.
Someone also said, oh, I love you guys. Everyone's like, Karens create alliances. No, it's not Karens. It's atheist hoes create alliances. That's what it does. Because like when you start realizing like when like, because there are hoes that you love because they're sweet and you kind of like that they're loose, but you hate that you like that they're loose because
they belong to the streets.
They belong to the streets, but you still like them in the sheets type of people. But then there's the ones that are hoes, but they're wicked in the sheets and wicked in the streets. And then they'll bring what you do in the sheets to the streets. And they'll bring the streets into your sheets, and that's not good.
Yeah, not good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
there was a famous philosopher one time. He says you can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
Wow.
Hoes don't act right.
Nietzsche?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
No, but it's true though. It's so true, man. I don't know. Like, this is why all these Christians that are like, dude, he said that, you know, women are basically a bunch of holes today, and but God didn't make them to be that way, and it's a shame they are that way. It's like, I'm sorry. Have you never existed in the world? Do you not know? What do you want me to say? Slut, whore? Like, what do you want me to use as language? You know? And they're like, it's vulgar. It's a vulgar world. We're not in church. This isn't church, okay? This is not a children's show. There's no kids around. Like, we have guys in BDSM gear getting anally probed, quitting, because they think we should be getting jabbed. Of course that guy wants you jabbed. He likes getting jabbed. That's his whole identity. But it's like, you guys missed, that's Demetre Daskalakis, which is a real name, by the way. It's like, dude, we live in a real world where you're like gay transgenders shooting up schools. Like, stop being such a pussy. That's my problem with like the whole world is the fake holier than thou stuff. You know, that's why Joel's like, it's like Joel doesn't like the way that we talk on this show. Joel doesn't like the way I talk, you know? Joel probably doesn't even like that he has to do what he's doing. I don't think Joel likes the fact that he has to do what he's doing. He's doing it because he has to do it. And that's what a real man is. Yeah. I would, dude, I used to be a genetic engineer. I used to just work in a lab, you know, and just made money, you know? And I could make a show and make just as much money just in my house, but I'm doing this because I think I have to do it, because we need to do it, because we've got to build a network and we've got to do something, you know, and it's really hard and it's never been done. So there's no one to ask, and everyone I ask who can help us wants to destroy us. That's the problem. Is any other network that can help us grow and be with us is like, sees us as a threat and wants to keep us down. And every other company we can work with that's independent also doesn't know what they're doing, and they're retarded. So it's a very tough position, and all good things could fail. But I have not allowed failure to be an option. That's just neither of you. So we're going to keep it going. I'm just going to say, I was going to say also, remember, if they are from the streets, make sure they don't shit in the streets either. Because then
don't
take those to the sheets. Yeah. Because they'll shit in your sheets too. You know what I mean?
Don't take a Jeet to the sheet.
Yeah, JD Vance.
Leave the Jeets for the streets.
Yeah. Not in the sheets.
Yeah, and the Thais as well. Thai people, they're for the streets only as well.
Me and Mike like Thailand.
Dude, hey, I watched this one clip of this guy. He actually was so funny. He's like, you know, think about cocaine. He's like making a video, and he's like, because, you know, I'm out here alone traveling in Bali. And he goes, you know what? I understand that. I know what I'm trying to say, but the optics of that are very bad. And like the comments are like, thank you, King, for being honest with yourself. You know, like, now in Bali traveling alone, it's like, what are you doing alone in Bali? Like, you know, like, hey, I went to Thai. I went to, like, dude, where's Ben? Ben from
I know.
Australia.
Yeah. Well, I think just last week we asked that. Yeah.
Well, Australia Ben, I remember we were on the show once, and he was like, yeah, you know, I was in Thailand recently by myself, and I was like, you stopped the show, and I was like, really? I didn't know you were like that. And he's like,
damn,
I
bro.
just went for the food and stuff. I go,
okay.
I thought tacos were a Mexican dish. Like, I didn't know.
Cream of some young guy.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. Dude, I was like, I remember he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll leave it there. We're going to go over to locals only. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Rumble, make sure that you like the video, that you subscribe, and follow us. As I'd like to, in many ways, we'd like to get to 10K subs this week on YouTube. Send this video to your friends to show you how much, like, you know, YouTube is our future. You know, it's like I really do believe it is. I mean, because we had, like, you know, this is a small show. We had like 233 watching on YouTube and like 430 watching on Rumble, and we have like 7 times the amount of subscribers. People are watching YouTube still. If they just are,
they love YouTube.
Yeah, they love it for some reason. And also, YouTube's gotten a little bit laxed. I think they'll come down again, but they have been a little laxed because the left is adopting these views. So the left, it's like when Hassan is anti-Israel and these people, it's like, well, what do you really do now?
Yeah,
like what do you do? And also, remember, the Indians run it now, not the Jews anymore. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's run by Indians now.
By the way, I locked in JT for Wednesday. He's actually going to be in town.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
So he just messaged me. I have him on Instagram. So JT follows JC. I just checked out his YouTube too. Definitely not a small YouTube. He has a pretty big YouTube too. So that's cool.
Yeah. So we'd love to have you on, man. He's really big on social media as well. So that's really cool. And my wife watches him, so she'll probably want to come say hi. So my Jewish wife, you know, dude, I was on the Backlash. You can watch my appearance on the Backlash podcast. I was on it today, and like everyone in the chat doesn't understand the humor of the show. And they're like, but his kids are Jewish. It's like, so what? Anyway, and then did you see that one like Christian guy that was like, all those Christian guys that are like, he's got to check his whole life because he's got a Jewish wife with a green card and he's against immigration in Israel. And you're like, oh, you guys are too fucking low IQ. You're too low IQ. You're too low IQ. Okay. Anyway, chat. Go to ElijahSchaefer.locals.com. I just want to real fast read any super chats here from locals. Nope, we have you here. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Give me one moment. And then we'll head over there. We'll see you for the exclusive segment for our members. It's free to join. I think if you use promo code, is it Rift or what is it?
I don't even know anymore.
I think it's Rift, but I'll have to add the code. But you should be able to get a month free when you sign up to try it out, see if you like it and you want to join. We'll see you over there, ElijahSchaefer.locals.com. We'll give a couple minute break real fast, and we'll see you over on Locals.